Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi hello-y, my name is Loey, and as you already know, I've been a bit behind when it comes to the world of the scary side of TikTok. There are so many viral accounts right now that have like ongoing stories about paranormal happenings, glitches in the matrix, and so much more. So today we're gonna go through 3 of like the most haunted TikTok accounts I can find right now with ongoing paranormal happenings, all 3 of which I actually think are real, which I think that's kind of fun as well. You know, so often in the scary side of TikTok, it's like we'll stumble across things that I'm either debunking or I tell you that I think is at the very least like a work of fiction, an ARG or something like that. But all 3 of these today, I think are real stories. So it gives you some fun, spooky TikTok accounts to follow, and we can kind of go down these rabbit holes together. And just like my recent video, I'm gonna get ready while I react to these videos with you. Thank you so much for all of the love on that, by the way. A lot of you said you liked it because it almost felt like a FaceTime, and that's really what I was going for, and those are the kind of videos that I like to watch, so I hope that you will continue to enjoy me sort of switching it up, you know? But before we get into it, I have to say such a huge thank you to our sponsor, The Farmer's Dog. I first posted about our journey with the farmer's dog 3 months ago, and what led me here was that I was using a fresh food topper for my dog's kibble. I have incredibly picky eaters in my house. It is very hard to get them to eat anything at all. And when I found out that that fresh food was actually potentially doing more harm to them than good, I started cooking for them, but that led me down a rabbit hole of supplements and powders. So when Farmer's Dog came in, it truly was the perfect time for us. My dog Hades is entering the senior category, and he's a big boy, and I have seen so many positive changes to him since incorporating the Farmer's Dog into his diet. But if you do want to give the Farmer's Dog a try, the entire process is super simple. All you have to do is fill out a quick informational quiz so that they can get to know your dog and your goals when it comes to their nutrition and health. And then you have pre-packaged fresh dog food sent straight to your home along with a personalized feeding guide. So if you think that fresh food might be the right fit for your pet, you can check out the Farmer's Dog using the link in my description box down below, or scan the QR code on screen right now to get 50% off of your first box of freshly made dog food, plus free shipping and 24/7 customer support. Thank you to the Farmer's Dog for sponsoring, and now let's chat about these spooky TikTok accounts together. Now, I really am excited to tell you guys about all of these accounts, but I feel like you are probably the most excited to hear about this first one, and that is the Aaliyah Mary account. Now, I assume her name is Aaliyah Mary because in the bio of her TikTok it says Instagram Aaliyah Mary, but the actual TikTok account is FreetPLBWX1, which is quite a bit more of a mouthful, so we'll just call it the Aaliyah Mary account. And until October of this year, this account was an incredibly normal one of a woman just sharing her life, sharing her baby, her interests, etc. And then that would all change on October 15th. The description of this TikTok reads, "It breaks my heart to think that all this time I thought my daughter was just suffering from night terrors. Me and my husband started recording every episode for her doctor to review just so he can see what we've been dealing with. This was on Sunday. We've tried everything. Scented oils, lullabies, lights, keeping both our doors open so she knows I'm close. Anything that might help, but nothing has. I used to think it was something in her mind, but I'm glad to know it's not her. This is one of her night terrors. I caught it on video. All this time when I'd post videos asking, does someone know how to stop night terrors? Can someone please help? My daughter has been having night terrors. I guess I've been asking the wrong questions. We're packing our things, or at least have her stay away from her own room. My poor girl." So this was the video that was posted. This video makes me so sad. Like, I can understand this poor mom's frustration at this point. I mean, her daughter is screaming bloody murder. God, it is just so, it's genuinely so hard to listen to. And knowing that she might have been seeing something that was very, very real is terrifying.
I'm scared.
Scared? Are we scared, baby? Come on here, pickle. Come here, pickle. Come on, pickle. okay. There's the vent right there, baby. See? The vent pushes the door. You're fine, okay?
And poor mom must be so scared in that moment too, kind of like, wait, what just happened? But of course she has to keep it together and keep it calm for her baby who's already so terrified by what she thinks are night terrors, and maybe still could be. I don't fully know at this point, but I do know that what is about to happen is genuinely so bizarre.
If you're scared, just remember, baby Lenny's here, mommy's here. We're all gonna be together in the same house. It's gonna be okay. Let's go to bed. What's wrong, Cora? Sweetie, what are you afraid of? You're scaring me, honey. I don't see anything.
Dude, I have gotten chills every time I have watched this video. Yeah, so this video went viral like in two separate circumstances. It was uploaded twice. I don't know if on purpose. It has the exact same description box, so I think it may have just accidentally duplicated for some reason. And when I first saw this, I was pretty skeptical, I won't lie to you. Like the blinds just snapping shut like that, I thought it had to be a hoax. It had to be something, especially like the account doesn't have any sort of profile photo or anything like that. But then I realized it does. It's just like the blank image of the TikTok profile photo, but it's a version of it with like a little bow on the head, so it's clearly intentional. But as I've continued to go through these videos, I don't think that this is a faked situation. It is so unsettling to hear this poor baby cry. You can tell this is a good mom who just wanted to get to the bottom of the situation. That's why she was filming in the first place. So it's not like, you know, why was she filming? But the videos that follow, I mean, they just really speak for themselves. The next day she posts this video. I watched this video back and forth and I still can't figure out how the windows did that. My 7-year-old had a night terror last night. She suffered for a while. Please believe what your little ones say. She came running into my room and I have never seen her cry this bad before. She was doing okay and sleeping in her room for a while till now. I'm keeping her away. And the description reads, the windows are not battery powered and you have to pull on the levers. They each have to close individually, which was what I thought, and why the fact that all 4 of them just snap shut like that is even weirder. The poster goes on to say wind maybe, but no breeze. It doesn't make sense. Now, since TikTok is filled with people who would be skeptical about this kind of thing, the original poster began to receive a lot of questions from people trying to debunk this situation. And it seems like she does her best to do so.
Her blinds do not have any remote or electronics. We just opened them back up so I could show you. You have to be physically standing by the blinds in order to close them like this. There is no wires or anything like that. There's no way this could be battery powered or anything. They just close on their own. And also all 4 of them closed at the exact same time. There's no way that's possible because you have to touch it and close it like that. So the AC was not on when the door closed. It's very loud. And you can hear it coming from the vent. The air vent could not have pushed this door closed in that other video because the air was not on, the AC was not on.
In the description of this, the poster says, also, I realize I may have rationalized it like in the original video because maybe I was afraid to think it really was a ghost. I was also trying my best not to scare her by saying it is a ghost. Now, she's definitely keeping tabs on this room, but every time she goes in, it's like terrifying for her because she assumes these blinds are just gonna snap shut all over again. So this is a slightly longer explanation where she tries to answer, I mean, every question that people may have about the blinds.
So I'm coming into the room to show you the blinds, which I have opened back up to demonstrate how they are closed. It's not electronic, it's not battery powered, that's not creepy.
Ew. I haven't watched a lot of these later videos because I was like, oh, I'll react to them with you guys while doing another, you know, get ready with me sort of video. I didn't realize the door just swung closed again on its own. And we heard the AC in the last one. It doesn't sound like it's running.
Trying my best not to freak out. So to close these blinds, you have to touch it and close it like that. That is the only way to close these blinds. There are no batteries or remotes here at all. No wires. You have to touch it and you have to close it like this. And there's no way I could have done that since I was standing on the opposite side of the room. And there is no way I could have closed all four at the same time.
She also posted this video, so this was also from that night. As you can see, I was very traumatized. I was just waiting to see if they would close again. And here's what's crazy, is the account pretty much stopped posting after this. It wasn't like, you know, a crazy amount of things were happening from this one video. It was the one night, apparently, when that door just closed again in one of the last videos, and that was really it. And that's also why I think it's real. I don't think that that could have been pulled off with like a string or something. Could it have been editing? Of course, anything can be. But I don't even get the sense from the way that this person is posting, from the way that they're talking, that this is some sort of hoax or an attempt at like a fake creepy story. And I can't even imagine how scared she was in that moment. I mean, she's trying to help her daughter with these night terrors. She's not gonna like feed into this stuff if it is fake, you know? Like that would just be really damaging to her kid. And you know she was terrified because she screamed in that video and she was trying so hard to stay calm for her daughter. And I really do wonder if they ended up submitting this. You know, they were recording it for the doctor, this like night terror. Did the doctor ever see this? What did they think of this situation? I simply have to know. Could it still be that her daughter was having night terrors outside of something paranormal? Of course, but what if they are induced by something paranormal in this home? And if it is something in this home, I don't think it's a good something. You know what I mean? I think that a baby that is wailing like that, crying like that scared, is not experiencing something that could even remotely be friendly or like benevolent. I think that is something dark and scary, and I really wonder like what happened from here. I went to her Instagram to see if there were any updates over there, but it is private, so if there are any updates, I can't see them. Overall, I think this is a truly terrifying situation and something that needs to be taken really seriously in every direction, of course, and it seems like the parents are definitely taking this seriously. It always just upsets me too when we see paranormal videos with kids involved, because it's like, why are you messing with the children? Just leave them alone. Anything that intentionally scares a child like that, like gets a kid screaming like that, I immediately am just like, you are not anything good. And like, I believe her when she says, you know, there are no remotes, there is no AI with this. I mean, it doesn't really line up for me. And again, it leads me back to whatever is in this house needs to not be around that poor kid. And I really do wonder where things are at now. I really hope that they're better. I hope this was like kind of a one-time event, maybe in addition to the night terrors, and they got all of it under control. But for now, that's kind of where I leave you. On one of my more recent live streams, which by the way, I'm trying so hard to get back to a live stream schedule. I think I need to figure out a different day than Sunday. When I started streaming Sundays, it was Scream Stream Sundays and they made so much sense, but I'm starting to think it needs to be a weekday because I've got no time on Sundays for the past like a month, so bear with me on that. But in one of our more recent ones, we came across a video from BazarBub. Well, it was in a BazarBub video that I told you guys I had been keeping tabs on this particular situation for a while. And in this video, I think it's finally time to talk about this crazy haunted bakery situation that I, once again, think is entirely real. And as we get into this, you're gonna be like, no freaking way. Because y'all, we have stuff manifesting out of the air, but it is just so unexplainable. And like this person, the way that they tell the story, it is so crazy. So the video is like 15 minutes long, so I'm gonna be popping in a lot.
Okay, y'all. This is part one of what's probably gonna be a new series called The Bakery is Haunted. Now, I have put off doing this since 2017 because I have to work with this ghost almost 6 to 7 days a week. And so I want to start off by saying, 1, I am not trying to convince you of anything. I am simply laying out the video and photographic proof that I have. I have nothing to gain from this.
I truly believe that, by the way. While, you know, this bakery has certainly gained a reputation now for being haunted, it's not like it's become a tourism hotspot for going viral on TikTok for this purpose.
The ghost's name is Harry. I don't know if that's his real name, but that's what we call him. So when you hear me refer to Harry, the ghost is who I'm talking about. It may be multiple ghosts. It may be one, but to us, it's Harry. I know that if you Google the most haunted building in Charleston, the Woolworth building comes up because of the fire. I do not think that it is because people died in a fire there. They were nice firefighters, and Harry has not always been nice. I think that building is a very historical building, and it probably was haunted way before the fire, if I'm being honest with you.
So our poster, whose name is Morgan, says a couple of things. That they really would like that ghost hunters please do not come to this location because they don't really want to stir up this entity, but also even what Harry is, as you heard. It's really interesting to me because when we get into this, I don't think even I know, as someone who I feel like I play Phasmophobia IRL at this point, even if it's just through a computer screen sometimes, in terms of seeing like a lot of paranormal activity and maybe like sometimes giving my 2 cents on if I think it's bad, if I think it's good, if it's a poltergeist or you know, a mimic, like something like that. Not that I'm an expert in any way, just like those, you know, opinions sometimes come out of me. When you watch this, the activity is just so unbelievable. I just have no idea what kind of ghost could do the things that you are about to see.
Harry now these days, sometimes he's chill. Sometimes we don't hear from Harry for days. Sometimes we'll go in there, the vibes are cool. Harry ain't doing nothing. He ain't acting up. All is well. And then I don't know what gets into him sometimes. We go in there and he is just riled up. There is this sloth. It is one of those Valentine's Day sloths that like he dances and sings Hunk of Burning Love or something. I don't know. My mom got it for me years ago. It stays on our junk shelf in this hallway. It never moves. Nobody ever touches it. It's been in the same place for at least 3 years. I wake up the other night and he is up, levitated on the ledge staring. And that really triggered me. Because that sloth has always kind of creeped me out. Anything with eyes kind of creep me out. Because you feel like it's watching you in that building.
That is such a crazy escalation. It is just so crazy, but I'm telling you, in the grand scheme of things, a little levitating toy has nothing on Harry.
And when I saw that sloth levitated, honey, I about levitated up off that couch because it'd been a while since Harry had messed with me. So when Burn got to work at 6 a.m., I had already texted him at like 2 a.m. I said, Burn, this sloth, it's coming for me. You know, because if you work at Rock City, you've also experienced Harry. I have several employees. I'll probably get them on here at some point. You know, Burn, being the big, brave Burn that he is, takes the sloth. And he's going to throw the sloth away. And I said, Burn, no. We don't throw things Harry likes away. We'll get to that at the end of this video. And so, Burn hides it. We have a rule. When somebody hides something, we don't tell each other where we hide it. Because we don't want to doubt that somebody's messing with us or joking with us. So, he's the only person who knew who this sloth was. Well, that has sent Harry on a whirlwind this weekend. He was on a rampage last night.
Well, Morgan says here that this entire kind of like chain of events when it comes to this story time was triggered by a very bad weekend at work. It's very important for you to understand the history of this ghost and the fact that they're not just making this up.
One of the main things, I know that you guys know those spiderweb bowls that you get at Family Dollar, okay? The spiderweb bowls, they look like this. I'll edit it in. Okay. We have a slew of them. We probably had like 8 or 9. Just because when Halloween comes around, we'll put cute stuff in it in the cold case, etc., etc. Well, Harry picked up on the Halloween bowls. He loved the Halloween bowls. Mind you, you know, your first instinct is like, okay, who's screwing with me? And it got to the point to where we knew that nobody was screwing with each other because it would be 2 o'clock in the morning and there'd only be 2 or 3 of us there we'd all be in the same room and we'd all walk into another room together and it had moved again. Like, we checked the camera footage. We made sure we saw it levitate. We saw things move. Like, it's nobody's messing with anybody.
These damn spiderweb bowls, after this, truly will be the death of me. I actually had like a pack of 3 of these, and shortly after these videos started going viral, one day I go outside. The gardener found one of my spiderweb bowls like hiding in a bush somewhere, and I just about jumped out of my skin at the jump scare. I really don't want Paul, my house ghost, getting any crazy ideas because he's also kind of been a menace lately. So Paul, this is not an invitation.
So we would find these spiderweb bowls in triangles all over the bakery all the time, whether it be on the floor, in the corner, in the ceiling. It was always 3 of them, always in the shape of a triangle, always perfectly aligned on the tile to where the line would meet the corner of the triangle and cross over. I mean, it was creepy. Okay, so these spiderweb bowls were triggering me. One day, I walked into the kitchen. A spiderweb bowl had magically made its way to the ceiling. I'll insert the picture here. Now, you can only imagine what went through my head when it wasn't just on the ground in the shape of a triangle. They were now levitating from the ceiling. Harry likes to put things in the ceiling. Example B, walking into the dish room, seeing that Harry put a knife in the ceiling. That's a different story for a different day. We're still focused on the spiderweb bowls. So eventually, we kept dealing with these spiderweb bowls. And it wasn't just the spiderweb bowls. We would find these triangles everywhere, whether it be random objects on the ground in a triangle, blankets in a triangle, always lined up perfectly with the T-cross at the bottom.
Those photos are insane, and understandably, we're kind of focusing on the spiderweb bowls at this point, but oh my god, like the different triangles of objects, the knife in the ceiling, the only logical explanation other than someone screwing with you is indeed a ghost. And what's crazy is they have so much footage of it indeed being a ghost that is yet to come. So remember how earlier they were talking about like not throwing away things that Harry likes? This is where this sort of stems from. Morgan at this point goes all around the bakery, collecting every single one of the spiderweb bowls, like any kind of storage they could possibly have, anywhere that these spiderweb bowls could be. They are collected and they are basically thrown out. It's like, we're done with these. Whatever is happening with these is absolutely terrifying. They need to get out of here. But this is what sets off a terrifying chain of events with Harry.
Let's fast forward a few weeks. It was one of them days Harry was acting up. He likes to throw stuff from the loft to the lobby. You'll see several videos and examples of that. It was one of them days where he was throwing stuff at customers. Customers would be sitting in the line and they'd be like, where'd that come from? Because they'd get pelted in the arm with like a battery or like a quarter or like a Valentine's Day ring out of the storage room. It always comes from above and it always comes flying down full force. So we knew that Harry was on one that day, and it got to the point we couldn't even hide it from customers anymore. We were just like, that's just Harry.
Having to tell the customers like, hey, sorry, just the bakery ghost is crazy, but what else do you do at that point?
We have like a line almost to the door. It's lunch rush. We're all like all hands on deck behind the counter. I look over on the couch towards the back. Right, like if you're at the register, you have a straight view of the couch to the back of the room. If you've been in Rock City, you know what I'm talking about. I see a purple spiderweb bowl. When I tell you the blood drains out of my face, I'm ready to have an exorcism in this bakery. I'm ready to walk out. I'm ready to turn the open sign off. I'm ready to leave because there is a purple spiderweb bowl or orange. I think it's purple. I don't even remember. It was so triggering. And I just stopped. I was ringing the customer up and I just went pale. And immediately, as soon as the line clears out, I go and I get on the security cameras. I'm like, I got to see where this bowl came from. I got to see who's screwing with me.
This is where the first instance of the security cameras comes into play. And we're going to see these security cameras a lot as we go on because it's crazy. All of this is caught on camera. At the time, Morgan is almost like, who is messing with me? You know, is it one of the employees? Is it like somebody breaking in here and doing this? And that's when she sees something so unbelievable.
I pull up the security camera. And, okay, you're at the bakery. There's a couch right here. Above it is the mezzanine, which is that little walkway before you go up the stairs to the loft. And there's like glass. There's like the glass wall. And we have paintings against the glass wall. I kid you not. This spiderweb bowl morphed out of the guitar painting we had right there. It morphed out of the painting, out of nowhere, from the multiverse, from Harry's timeline, wherever it came from. I have video evidence. It is not edited. It is raw, screen recorded on my phone from the security camera app. This thing morphed out of the painting and landed on the couch. Now, this is not the first time something has morphed out of a painting. We have had a Dr. Pepper can morph out of a painting that now has a hole in it from the Dr. Pepper can when there was no Dr. Pepper in the building, but that's a different video.
Don't worry, Dr. Pepper fans, that's pretty much what comes up next. But for now, this video of the spiderweb bowl literally morphing out of the painting is what is shown.
All right, this is just a screen recording on my phone. Pay attention to the guitar canvas above the couch, please. Now you may think, oh wow, somebody threw it from above. Nope, let me zoom it in for you, pal. This is me just slowing it down with my finger. That thing is morphing out of that painting. It literally just morphs out of thin air. What do you even do with that? What am I even supposed to do with that? So, I threw the paintings away. That wasn't a good move. But please tell me I'm not crazy. Please tell me you see that bowl morphing out of that painting. Guys, I've done Moundsville. We go to the state penitentiary. We go to Weston. We've been to all the places. Okay, we've traveled all over doing overnight haunts and overnight stays. That's what Courtney wants to do for her birthday every year. I have had things that's like kind of creep me out, but I've never experienced anything like I have at this bakery. Okay, and needless to say, I don't go on those trips anymore because when you have to work with something like this, you don't want to go hunting for it no more.
And I'll be really honest with you, much like the last account that we talked about, I think that this is something that if I had just seen that video as a viral video with no additional context, by the way, can we say how crazy it is that that is a 15-minute video that went viral? Because people are so obsessed with this story and it's so unreal that it was worth all of that time to wait and see that footage. Absolutely crazy. But just like with the last situation, I think that if I did not already know what I know about what is to come, I would look at that and be like, there's no way that is 100% edited. And could it be? Of course. You know, just because I say I think something is real does not make it real, obviously. However, it is so crazy that after everything they went through, getting rid of these dang bowls, getting them out into the garbage, watching Waste Management take them away, it literally sounds like an Annabelle movie. You know what I mean? Like how they put Annabelle in the garbage truck. Or is that the New Conjuring? In the New Conjuring, they do that with a mirror. That might have been from the New Conjuring, but they literally get rid of this thing and it just comes back. That's what it reminds me of. It sounds like a scary freaking movie. It sounds like the most unbelievable thing you've ever heard. And then you see the video and it's even more unbelievable, but I think it's real. I'm sure I'm kind of jumping around in these videos, by the way, and I'm not going to show you every single video related to the haunting because we would genuinely be here. It would be like a 2-hour video in itself. So you can totally go over to the actual account and go binge watch these yourself. But next up, I believe, we're talking about the Dr. Pepper can.
Let me just backtrack on a few things because we've gotten a ton of comments and I just want to clarify a few things. One, no, I did not bring this ghost into this building. Like 2 days within the renovations of the building, we had 2x4s flying from the loft. Okay, this was not us. This, whatever this is, has been there long before me and it'll probably be there long after me once I'm out of that building. 2, people have been like, get a priest in that building. Girl, let me tell you. Okay, back in the day, because again, it has settled down a lot. You have to realize these stories I'm telling you, they're old stories, okay? There was a point back in like 2019, 2020 to where like I was over it. So I did the only thing I knew how to do. And I texted a preacher's wife that I knew and dropped me names. I was like, look, girl. I was like, I knew you could think I'm crazy. I was like, but I'm going to send you all these pictures and videos. And I'm going to need you to come pray over this building or something. And basically, she told me I was crazy. She was like, look, somebody's messing with you. Like, this ain't it. And I was like, girl, I know you think so. I know you think that I'm just being funny. But, like, I'm not being funny. Like, I need you to come pray for this building. She never gave me like any confirmation that they did. I know they did stop in the building, and I know it kind of miled out. So maybe they just swung by and like did a little sprinkle of prayer here or there. I don't know. But I took that route too.
Morgan goes on to say that when it comes to anyone kind of interacting with the ghost or reaching out or making contact, they haven't done that, and that they have no desire to do that because they don't want to rile it up. They don't want to make it worse. Harry is like something that they have to deal with in their everyday life. It's not like a fun little ghost hunting experience, you know? In the last video, she was saying like they used to do that. They used to go and enjoy like ghost hunting and stuff, and now they can't even do that because it's like you work with a ghost in your everyday life. While those spiderweb bowls were definitely kind of the thing, you know what I mean? They were like oh my god, this place is so unbelievably haunted. This Dr. Pepper can, man, to me, takes the absolute cake. Maybe rivaled literally only by the photo of the spiderweb bowl dangling from the ceiling.
When you're in Rock City, the staircase, you have like the first set of stairs, and there's like a little wall, and it's just a wall. There's nothing behind it. We have canvases on it. That part of the wall is usually what I put, like if like people paint us something and bring it to us as a gift, or you know, it's not like my purchased art, it's like my gifted art basically. And there was this little painting, and this little young girl painted it for us years ago. And again, there is no relevance to these paintings, okay? Several things has happened with like pieces of art or paintings, and like it doesn't seem to have a rhyme or reason. It's not like the actual painting itself. We still have this painting. I still have it on the wall. The little girl's really proud to paint it for us. I wish I remembered her name. She's probably not little anymore. And it has a hole in it, actually, where the Dr. Pepper can ripped through it. I contemplated going to the bakery today and taking a picture just so you guys would believe me that there's a hole in it, but I didn't want to walk in there alone because y'all have me kind of spooked out. I'm going to have to sleep that off.
That is so crazy because it's not even like these events where it can kind of, you know, you take a second and you step back and you're like, okay, well, maybe that could have been something else, or maybe I didn't see that clearly. There's like a perma hole in this cute little cupcake painting that a kid did for them once upon a time. This story is so unbelievable. Again, I think it would honestly be the kind of thing where these days I would sort of like have an air of this can't be real. It has to be an ARG. It has to be something. But there's something about the way that Morgan delivers this story. And just like everything that they've said, I just think it's real.
So it's like the middle of the night. I don't even remember what time it is. The video I'm about to show might be time stamped. It's not as clear as the spiderweb bowl one because the stairwell is kind of like there's things everywhere, but then also it's nighttime, so the cameras are in night mode. The lights were not on in the lobby. Same thing, like things have just been happening repeatedly. This was when Harry was at an all-time high. And we heard like just this big dramatic noise in the lobby, and we were all on edge anyway. So we walk out and we're like, what in the world was that? So, you know, you got to kind of get your bearings. You got to kind of look around.
Here's what's particularly astounding about the Dr. Pepper can as well. Of course, the fact that they will later realize it ripped right out of a painting, but also the fact that there was no Dr. Pepper in that building. Because Morgan says she hadn't stocked their drink cooler in a while, hadn't made a Sam's run. She's also a Dr. Pepper girl. From her own mouth, she says, I love Dr. Pepper. I've been complaining for, you know, weeks at this point. Like, man, I wish there was a Dr. Pepper. Man, I'd love a Dr. Pepper. The Dr. Pepper was not in the building, and yet, here it comes, just out of nowhere.
I see a Dr. Pepper can on the ground. And I'm like, that's interesting. So then I look, and it's like close to Halloween. And like, even if it wasn't close to Halloween, sometimes we'll put stuff out for Halloween and we like it, so we keep it out because it matches the vibe. And we had like these things from Michael's. I don't even know. I don't know if it's like a cat or some kind of animal bone plastic thing. And it was on top of the piano. And I noticed that that skeleton thing was on the ground too. And I was like, okay, wow, he's really made a ruckus out here. So I go to pull up the camera. The first thing you're going to see is I had to turn it sideways, but just look towards the back stairway. You'll see the Dr. Pepper can fly. There's an orb to the right, and then the skeleton falls. So here's a zoomed in Dr. Pepper can flying out of the canvas. Again, there's just a wall behind it. I know it's blurry. I apologize for the quality. Let me reverse it and you'll see the Dr. Pepper can come back. It literally comes straight out of the painting. Now, next, please look after the Dr. Pepper can falls, the orb flying up from the top left. And then the bones fall and there's an orb flying to the piano bench. And then at the bottom of the right, there's another orb that flies up. So there's 3 total orbs in this video. And it is absolutely insane to me.
I feel like over the years, I've become a lot more skeptical of orb footage, if I'm totally honest with you. And it's because people in my streams tell me I have orbs in my stuff all the time. And I'll be like, guys, I have 15 million animals in this house. Like, I promise you, it's just a stray hair. And no matter how many times I say it, people are convinced it's orbs. So I feel like, and because I'm sitting there, I can literally see the pet hair. You know what I mean? So I feel like I've gotten a lot more skeptical of orbs because it's like, wow, so many things really can show up as an orb. But in this particular situation, when something like that is happening, I think they are completely real. Are you kidding me? That is insane. I cannot believe that this was captured on camera, not once, but twice.
So again, I know that video quality isn't as clear as the spiderweb bowl, but you know, for me at the time, I was able to actually get it from our security camera app. So it was very easy. It was much easier to zoom in and manipulate and look and like, you know, completely dissect it. I hope you guys can see what I see, because when the Dr. Pepper can comes out, there's like an orb that flies up like this. And then there is the bones fall off, and there's an orb that kind of goes around the piano bench. And then there's an orb that flies to the right of the couch. So like, if you actually slow it down and pay attention, there's these little balls of light that like fly by and then the thing happens. You know, all these things that happen at the bakery usually is more like poltergeisty in the sense that like things just fly and stuff. We have seen like a shadow figure. We call him the Shadow Man. And it's weird, like you can see it out of the corner of your eyes. That's happened a few times, but we don't really see like physical ghost or anything. It's more just things happening.
Like I said, it's just genuinely unreal that this has been captured on camera multiple times at this point alone. And I think it's really interesting that they haven't really seen Harry. Like she mentioned the Shadow Man. I don't know if the Shadow Man is like something, she seems to think that it's separate from Harry, so I'll listen to her. So the Spiderweb Bowl story and the Dr. Pepper story, those are kind of the crazy ones from this TikTok account. But there's a whole playlist on the account, and Harry is still getting up to some shenanigans to this day. He's still knocking things over, pushing things around. He's playing around with some of the odds and ends that they have in the store. Let me brew all my final thoughts while I set my face because I can't talk while it sits. For me, the story of the Rock City Bakery ghost was unlike any paranormal story I've ever heard anyone say before. I don't feel like it's often that somebody will say, hey, an item just spawned out of thin air, let alone have some sort of proof for it. And so for that reason, I've really been waiting on trying to like make sure that I gave this one the attention it deserved. I felt like it was too much for like just putting into a scary side of TikTok, but it was also so different from just like any old paranormal story. So I really enjoyed watching these with you guys and going through every single detail. Also, the playlist is chock full of so many other stories from her, from employees, like ones with video, ones that are just stories. So you should totally check that out. But bottom line for me, the way that they talk about Harry, sometimes I do think Harry might be multiple entities. Like maybe what's happening with the items phasing out of these paintings or something is that there is like a portal of some sort in this bakery. I know that sounds like so crazy, but we're talking about Dr. Pepper cans flying out of canvases. You know what I mean? So maybe there is some sort of portal where entities or things are kind of coming in and out, because sometimes Harry will be really kind of okay, and then sometimes Harry will get really, 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 really scary. And maybe if it is one entity, like it is just a really, really intense one. Hopefully one of these days I can visit the bakery in person. I know that they said they don't want ghost hunters. I will not ghost hunt, but I will come and buy a cupcake in honor of Harry and in honor of Morgan for telling all of these amazing stories. And on that note, this last account, it's not completely paranormal, but it was funny because during the story time of the Rock City bakery that we were listening to, I thought about this one oddity shop in particular that I know on TikTok. Now, most of their videos are just about oddities in the shop or being an oddity shop in general. However, from time to time, apparently, they will experience some interesting things with haunted objects in the store. And there is this story about this creepy, and I mean creepy, little plush monkey thing that is so creepy, I feel you just have to hear it.
Hi guys, Jackie here from Vulturecultureoddities. Today we're going to be talking about some of our haunted items, one being our symbol monkey. So, the symbol monkey came to us from a woman in Birmingham, Alabama. She had found it after her husband had passed. She did not realize it was actually in his possession. When she was cleaning up his effects one day, she had heard the symbols going off. She found the monkey, and inside it had contained no batteries.
I know the no batteries of it all. That's crazy. I'm with ya. Have we looked at its eyeballs? Why does it have bloodshot, realistic eyeballs? This thing is genuinely what nightmares are made out of.
She reached out to some experts, one being her own preacher. They had told her that there was a residual electricity left over from the last time it had batteries in it and not to worry. It then came into our possession, where she then used it on a movie called Happy Death Day. In the time that she has had it, it has only clapped twice without having batteries inside of it. It has frightened people to no end. Some of our employees are very scared to go over to the cabinet at all, and he does move around on his own. If you do want to come and learn more about it, we are doing a Beyond the Veil class where we will go over all of our haunted items in here, and maybe he'll clap for you.
Vulturecultureoddities shop employees, you are the bravest people on earth, because what is that thing? While this account, like I said, is not fully paranormal, they have a couple of interesting paranormal stories, and I also think it's really cool just to learn about the various oddities that they have in the store. And after that video went viral, they then shared this paranormal story about these two Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. Yeah, we got a good old-fashioned Annabelle story.
Hi everybody, this is Jackie from Vulturecultureoddities. We are back here again today talking about some more of our haunted items, our Raggedy Ann and Andy. They were involved in a violent act with a husband and wife where the dolls were present in the room. So that's where their haunted connection comes from. In the very beginning of our lovely store, we did do a paranormal investigation with our lovely Dawn Poage of Classic Horror Shop. She did connect with these dolls probably the most out of the room for that night. When they were connecting with them, the wife of the husband and wife, her spirit is connected to them. So she is here in the store with us. She's not malicious or violent in any way, but she's just connected to the dolls. And we've been told that when they move, she will move with them. Hence why they have quartz and we give them candy. Raggedy Ann consistently pushes over Raggedy Andy for whatever that's worth. And people do have very special connections with them in our store. We do have a group of, a coven that comes in and talks with them and does tarot work. We have children who draw them drawings. They do have a lot of emotion and sadness tied to them. They're probably one of our most haunted items in here, next to the Ouija board, which we hopefully will do a video of that next for you guys. Please stay tuned and check in for a next video. And if you want to come visit them, they'd love for you to come by and say hi.
I don't think that they ever posted that Ouija board video, by the way. I might be missing it, but I didn't see it on the account. The store is located in Burbank, by the way, here in California. If you want to visit, I totally will be going to see them sometime. I absolutely love this account. If you're interested in oddities in general, even more than like haunted items, just like taxidermy and other stuff like that, which I just find so fascinating, you should totally check out their page. I know, again, not a totally paranormal account, but a lot of the other paranormal accounts that at least I've stumbled across recently, I don't think are real. And so I really wanted to include like only real paranormal stuff. And I love these getting ready videos because I've showed you now kind of like my everyday makeup, and now this is kind of my like glam event makeup, you know what I mean? I usually do a half lash, but I'm gonna do it off camera because I'm so clumsy with them. And I'll come back with you guys for final thoughts on these crazy paranormal accounts. Oh my gosh, she's bald! She's bald and she's torturing people who have hair! The funniest thing about this hairpiece is that it is a claw clip, so every time that I do an event and I have to get in and out of my lift, I literally have to take it on and off in the car for safety. So yeah, those were the accounts that I wanted to tell you about today. You know, sometimes I feel like I've gotten so skeptical with videos online, honestly, just because it's kind of hard not to sometimes, that it's really refreshing to actually watch paranormal content that I'm like, yeah, this is a real live ghost, you know what I mean? Doesn't mean that's necessarily true, but at least to me, it seems real, or at least very believable. I think that probably moving forward, I'll be focusing a bit less on the number of, you know, scary videos that we're going over and more on just the quality of them. I feel like we've kind of been there, done that with all of just the standard scary videos. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we've almost grown past it. And that doesn't mean there won't still be videos like that sometimes, but it's so refreshing to actually take a look at things that do scare me and that I do think are paranormal, and I'm so curious to hear what you guys think on it. So yeah, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A special thank you to my subscribers who are members of the channel. If you want to join the channel memberships and get extra members exclusive perks like members only videos, polls that we decide on future video topics, and so much more, you can click that little join button somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. An extra special thank you to my VIP loves for their continued and generous support of the channel. I love and appreciate you all very, very much. I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next video.